Years ago, I heard about something called the elevator pitch. The idea is very simple. Just imagine getting on an elevator with someone you really would like to meet. Perhaps it's someone famous or someone important. The point is, you've got a trapped audience for a few seconds in the elevator to make your pitch. So what will you say before the elevator doors open and this opportunity is over? Once the doors open, you will have either earned yourself another 60 seconds of conversation or the person you spoke to moves on to his or her next event. A man named Bartimaeus had his elevator pitch ready for Jesus. Of course, there was no elevator, but Bartimaeus was a blind man sitting on a crowded, heavily traveled road where Jesus and his disciples were about to pass by. Bartimaeus had been thinking about what he would do if only he had a chance to talk with the famous rabbi. He wasn't going to miss his opportunity. This story happened in Jericho, and here's an important detail that will help us picture the setting. There were actually two Jerichos. There was a Jericho for just about everyone, and then there was Upper Jericho, also known by its Hebrew name, Jericho Elite. And yes, elite means exactly what it sounds like. Zacchaeus lived in regular Jericho, collecting taxes from regular people. Almost all of Jericho's residents lived in this well-watered plain. Think of it as a blue-collar town, and you'll be pretty much on target. It's a very friendly place, then and now, but you're not going to find the rich and the famous living in Lower Jericho because the rich and the famous lived in Upper Jericho. That included Herod the Great when he was alive, and a lot of wealthy people from Jerusalem who had homes in Jericho Elite. This community was very small, very posh. It was a resort area. It was bustling in the winter when people wanted to escape the winter weather in Jerusalem, but mostly empty during the heat of summer. Herod and his friends were the original snowbirds. Jesus came to Jericho many times. On his last visit, he had an early lunch with Zacchaeus in Lower Jericho, of course, and then started up the steep path to Bethany. A large crowd was walking with Jesus as they exited Lower Jericho and began coming to Upper Jericho. That's where the road turns toward Jerusalem in a canyon called Wadi Kelt. It was a Friday, so traffic on the road would have been heavy. Shabbat would begin at sundown, so everyone on that road was trying to reach their destinations in a hurry. Bartimaeus is blind. He made at least some of his living from the charity of others. So he secured a prime position on this busy road that would lead people to Jerusalem. He was on full alert, asking for money, listening for clues as to who was passing by. And when he sensed that Jesus was near, he was ready. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Son of David, have mercy on me. That's it. That's his elevator pitch. A few people tried to quieten him. Instead, he called out all the louder. And it worked. Jesus heard him. He called for the blind man. Bartimaeus threw his cloak aside, jumped to his feet, and made his way to the famous miracle-working rabbi. You know, the stories of the miracles Jesus had done had circulated all over the land. Now Jesus asked Bartimaeus, "What do you want me to do for you?" Seriously? The man is blind. What would anyone expect that Bartimaeus wanted? But that's not the first time Jesus has asked such a question. There was once a man who could not walk. He'd been paralyzed for 38 years, and Jesus asked him, "Do you want to get well?" You know what the man said? He started talking about a tradition of water moving in a pool that some claim might have healing properties, but then people would push and shove and forget about him. That man did not have his elevator pitch ready. In that case, Jesus stopped the conversation and told the guy that his life was about to change dramatically. "Get up," he said, "take up your mat and walk." And to everyone's surprise, including the paralyzed man, he stood up. Now there's more to that story, and you'll find it in John chapter 5. But in this story, Jesus asked Bartimaeus, "What do you want me to do for you?" And Bartimaeus knew exactly what he wanted. "Rabbi," he said, "I want to see." And just like that, Bartimaeus had his sight. "Go," Jesus said, "your faith has healed you." Mark says Bartimaeus did not go anywhere. Instead, he followed Jesus along the road. That's a cool picture. Bartimaeus finally had his sight, and now all he wanted was to see Jesus. So let's connect that amazing story with your story. What if Jesus asked you the same question? What if in some miraculous moment you heard God's Spirit say to you, "What do you want me to do for you?" It's surprising, I think, how many people would struggle with the answer. We spend so much time being so busy with all the things that keep us busy. Sometimes we lose sight. Oh, I think Bartimaeus would be impressed with that pun. Sometimes we lose sight of what's ultimately important. We may have even lost sight that our lives have a God-given purpose. Life can wear you down, and we need to refocus right now. This is an important exercise, and I hope you'll take it seriously. Spend some time today crafting your answer to the question. Pretend Jesus has just asked you, "What do you want me to do for you?" Get your elevator pitch ready. You know, if nothing else, questions and little exercises like this may help you find focus for your life's purpose. It might help you refocus and might remind you of a dream that once inspired you. So again, get your answer ready. If Jesus wants to make it happen, whatever your dream is, whatever your greatest desire might be, He can indeed make it happen. And He might ask you what you want Him to do for you today.